BBC Hooniverse.
You're watching the TGM production.
I'm gonna look into that painting. Or is it posted? Who knows? Hello and welcome back to the penultimate, this is what I was looking for there, penultimate part of We Can Be Heroes. This is part 3, and at some point there'll be a fourth and final part. Within part 3, you'll also see part 2 and part 1, but this time part 1 has been labelled as part 2 has now been labelled as part 2. Like part 1 in last time, when part 1 was labelled as part 1. As in with the word part 1 written on it. So, let's talk about it. So, We Can Be Heroes is the lyric in the song Heroes by David Bowie. In the War Between the Land and the Sea, we got a cover version. Now, this cover version was interesting. This cover version was memorable. And I think it adds to the scene because I didn't know it was cover version because I don't know enough about David Bowie. I wish I know slightly more about David Bowie, but I don't know enough about David Bowie to be able to say, oh right, that makes perfect sense why the song's called that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, so I was watching that scene thinking, oh, this is the original song, yeah, woo, woo, woo. And it wasn't, it was a cover of David Bowie's We Could Be Heroes. And then obviously I heard the original version of Heroes, and the end credits to the TV series Stranger Things on the 1st of January 2026. So overall, I think the ending for the War Between the Land and the Sea is mixed opinion, and in the final part, I will tell you my full opinion as of the 18th of April 2026 at 6:16 a.m. on the 19th or 20th. I'll give my new opinion because obviously at the time I reviewed the final, but since then I've had new opinions. But I'm also now confused because there is certain people online that are researching into when they think that the series will air or get added to Disney Plus, and at the present moment it doesn't look like it's happening. Are Disney trying to get rid of this spin-off and say it never existed because it's on DVD in the UK and it's been available on BBC iPlayer? So I think trying to write it off for tax purposes, I think trying to get rid of it, that ship has, to be honest, already sailed. I mean, it's not anyone's fault, no. It's just the fact that if you want to get rid of something, I would say you would try and get rid of it before it airs in the UK. So the War Between the Land and the Sea aired, and the Disney, wow, we want nothing to do with this now. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. And you're like, no! I'm not gonna leave. And we stood here 20 years from now saying we still aired the Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea, and you didn't. Right? We played a cover version of David Bowie's Heroes, which you can hear on Spotify. So, I do think it becomes fascinating, it becomes interesting, and I think it adds a new dynamic to this, right? And that's what I think that's what you want a lot. I think a lot you want a new dynamic, and having this sort of won't it air, it creates attention that we all really want, and one day it might do. I do just hope that the BBC go, well, here's a universal version of the DVD. We can buy the DVD now. You just need a working DVD player for whatever region you're in, because I'm assuming it's not a regionless DVD, which was very much easy for me to say. And I think that you sort of like learn and develop that sort of sense of going, yes, it's not going to happen. You don't have to feel bad about the fact that it might not happen. You just have to sort of like understand there's a very small possibility, which it ain't easy for me to do, that it might not there. And I think that you've got to sort of prepare yourself for that. So hopefully it'll come to the world, but hopefully people found other ways of watching it with the DVD. Personally, I think the war between the land and the sea was enjoyable. I think the war between the land and the sea was fun. I think the war between the land and the sea had a lot going for it, but it's made my opinion mixed by how long it's been and how I still think about the show now. And obviously, for the last month I've been thinking about it. 2 months ago I made a film about it. Yesterday I made part 2 of that film about it. And today I'm 6 minutes and 45 seconds into part 3 of talking about this. And you're about to see part 2 and part 1 in that exact order in a couple of moments. So I think that's rather fascinating. I think that's rather interesting. And I think that you sort of learn that there's a lot more to go off than that. So, whilst I've been more cryptic than I would be, let's call part 3 a day. I'll see you for the final part 4. Will I be here, or will I have recruited one of my many friends / collectors who will appear to give their opinion, or will I share why I've got mixed opinions on the war between the land and the sea? Only time will tell. Bye bye. Oh yeah, sorry. Here's part 2, and then part 1. It's part of the format of this now. Yeah. Bye. Nigel, Nigel, it's me, Tom Mason. I've got a question to ask. Well, what's happening is I'm about to film part 2 of a film I did 2 months ago called We Can Be Heroes, right? And I thought, I don't remember what happened in part 1, so I'm going to include part 1 at the end of part 2, because I know that We Can Be Heroes is all about the war between the land and the sea, right? Anyway, so I thought it'd be really fun to wear a hat. And the first hat I came across was your Disney hat. So I was just wondering, Nigel, am I allowed to wear it, or will that damage your brand? What? Yes, I can wear it, but you have to make it clear that this is Ruthless Nigel's hat, the clown Ruthless Nigel's hat. Right, I can do that. Thank you. Right, I'll get on with that then. Right, I'll not break anything. I'll get on with it. Right, thank you. Thanks, Nige. Thank you. Well, the camera's about to die. I haven't got long, so I'll be with you in a minute. I'll give you back. Right? Yeah. Hello and welcome to We Can Be Heroes Part 2. The camera's about to die. I'm wearing Ruthless Nigel's hat, which has probably seen slightly better days. I don't even know if I'm wearing it the right way around. I probably am. Anyway, so Ruthless Nige, great friend of mine. Anyway, so today we're talking about We Can Be Heroes just for one day. Part 2. We're also going to include part 1 at the end of this. So I think We Can Be Heroes is talking about the fact that that scene, the final scene in the war between the land and the sea, before the post-credit scene, is still stuck in my head. We can be heroes just one day, and it's stuck in my head, and it's one of those scenes that you just sort of get stuck, and it reminds you of other scenes. And yes, I think I've got a mixed opinion on the war between the land and the sea. Now, thinking about it, and I know that it's weird that Disney Plus have never actually aired it on Disney Plus outside of, well, the UK is the only people that have got access to it unless you've got a multi-region DVD player. And I think that it's slightly odd. All this is slightly odd about that, right? So I thought by this point, because we're now in April, I thought by this point Disney Plus would have at least said when they were announcing when the war between the land and the sea was going to air. I thought they were going to talk about when it was going to air, but no. It's nowhere to be seen. It's weird, it's odd, and I have no idea why it's not airing. I don't know why. I don't know. Does he not want to show Russell Tovey's new drama? I don't know. I'm assuming that whenever America finds its new home, or the world finds its home for Doctor Who outside of their old homes, hopefully the spin-off where, because I think it's still good. Even though I have mixed opinions, it's still good because that final scene is still imprinted up here in my noggin, right? I'm still thinking about Russell Tovey and the fish. I'm still thinking about David Bowie's I will be king. We can be heroes just for one day. See, I don't remember the words exactly. Or is it? It's probably can we be heroes just for one day? I think that's the actual lyric. But I think it's the scene, the song, everything just. It's such a beautiful scene. It's apart from the fact that it then cuts to his wife and children crying because he's never going to see them again. I do think there's a lot of morally different. There's a lot of things wrong with it, but I do think that I might have to actually come back and go mixed reviews. I might have to make a film about my mixed opinions on it now. Because the more I think about it, the more I like that scene, and I like the sequence, and I can think about it, and I can remember it, and I've got all this other thing. But when you really think about it, there's a lot of problems with it. And you know what? It's not anyone's fault. It's just you're trying to make a drama, and when you then have a good start, it's easy to fall away by the wayside. And I know the ending I quite like now. I think the ending was really good. It's just there's areas here that make no sense and are a little bit questionable. So, heroes are the sense of saving the day, and I think that's what Russell Tovey's character achieved within this. Now, due to my camera almost about to die, I've decided that we're going to make a We Can Be Heroes Part 3. Now, to end off Part 2, I'm going to include the footage from Part 1 so you get a little bit of a reminder of what I talked about when I previously made this film. Now, I think that We Can Be Heroes is referencing to the song, obviously, Heroes, by David Bowie, but the cover version. And I think it's referencing to the fact that in that scene, Russell's thinking, yes, I am the hero. But obviously, not everything's gone to 100% plan. So I think I'm glad there's not going to be a second series of War Between the Land and the Sea, because I think it works really well as a standalone. Yes, I would like there to be a sequel series, but I think leaving that where it is quite good. And we can utilise his character in the future in regular Who. So, thanks for watching. Enjoy Part 1. Hello, and welcome back to Tom Mason. Yes, today we're doing a brand new programme called We'll Be Heroes. Yep. I'm trying to remember what the lyric was. So there is a song by David Bowie called, I think it's just called Heroes. And at the final episode of the war between the land and the sea, we had a song featured in it
called Heroes, which goes, "We can be heroes for just one day." Or her version, the version on The War Between the Lands, he goes, I will be king. No, nothing will drag me down. We can be heroes for just one day. Right, so it's more slow and dramatic, where the original version is, David Bowie singing it. I will be king. We can be heroes. Just for one day. So, the question is, was Barclay a hero? No. Why was he not a hero? Because he just went along with the fishes, right? If the whole world became fish, yeah, maybe a hero. But the whole world were not fish. So no, not a hero. I'm saying it here and now. He was not, I repeat, not a hero, right? Neither was Sol. I'll be honest, neither was Sol. So why did they feel the need to play? They didn't do Stranger Things, they were the original version. No, but the heroes? Yes, they were. But not just them personally, but you know what? They were heroes. They saved the world. But at the end of the war between the land and the sea, Sol was miserable. Barclay was miserable and couldn't really live, but then became a fish. So, Fishman. He'd be Aquaman, if anything. He could become a superhero. It could be the next Aquaman. I'm not saying that he can't. And I'm also not saying he can. But I wouldn't say the hero. No, not at that point. If Accord worked and everything went hunky-dory, then yeah, he probably could have been a hero. But sadly, due to the political figures ahead, no. I really want this to be, as I've said in the film I made called The Impact. Sorry, Jeremy Lloyd. I think that we should have a knock-on effect in the next edition of Doctor Who. Hopefully. Because we don't know what he's going to wear internationally. So we might not be able to do it in this Christmas special, but I think the next time we see Unit, we could have the knock-on effect, because Kate Lethbridge was very much annoyed, right, at that litter. You're bound to be, but wouldn't you stop littering after you had loads of litter scattered everywhere? I would anyway, because that would make me go, right, no, I'm not littering anymore. No, I don't want to litter anymore. I'm banning myself from littering. That would make it more interesting. I personally think. I personally think that Kate Lethbridge's mental state should continue into her further work. So, that's it for part 1 of We Can Be Heroes. In part 2, which will be out tomorrow, we discuss whether or not you can class Rory Williams as a hero. Because we're going to talk about the fact that, was he a hero or was it just a coincidence what happened? See you tomorrow. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.